So welcome to, I think, the last of our little testimonials for our Carnivore Retreat 2019. And I've got my old friend Rebecca Novick here. We've known each other for a long time with big gaps in between. And Beck has got another interview where she told her story, so we won't get too much into that. That's in the same playlist where she's interviewed at the retreat. And Beck did the interviews at the retreat too, and has given me a good slapping for releasing them as they are, because we meant to edit them into a film, and so you can't hear Beck so well, and then there's little interruptions, and then I thought, well, put it out, warts and all. But I understand, because if somebody put out my drum takes that I did in the studio that I wasn't happy with, I'd be pretty pissed off. But we didn't want to waste them. But we, Beck is.
I forgive you.
Thank you, Beck. So I just wondered, it's been a crazy journey from you, from vegetarianism to eating a whole load more meat, and I mean, what was landing at that retreat? Because you said when we were there that it was a bit surreal for you. How did you find it, suddenly finding yourself there and interviewing all these evil carnists?
Right. Well, I mean, I really didn't know what to expect. The whole journey that I'd gone through had really kind of stretched my mind around certain issues anyway. So my mind was fairly open around it. So I went with kind of a fresh perspective. I just didn't really know what I was going to encounter. And also because I was doing a job, because I was filming, then I just was treating it like any other job. Like, this is what even though it was voluntary, but I got a wonderful stay and, and all the food that I wanted, and basically kind of a nice holiday, a working holiday in Spain. So that was wonderful, and a chance to see you again. I like the way you keep calling me your old friend. I am really, really old now. So I didn't really know what to expect. And so it was it was a kind of a process of just kind of because I was working, I was like, okay, well, I just need to do this as well as I can. But then I got really, really impressed with the people who I was interviewing, and got really more and more interested in their stories, because they were so authentic and so open about like very, very personal parts of their lives. And I think what a lot of people don't understand about carnivores, the carnivore community, I don't know if you could really call it a community defined by food choices, because you could call it the fast food community. Is that a community? It's not really about that. It's not really about the eating of the meat, actually. I realize the community part is about these stories of healing. That's what the community part is about, because everyone who was there had their own story of healing. And that's what I would really hope that people could come to understand about this, that it's people who had to reach a kind of bottom, and many of them did, in their lives, completely change their lifestyle and often their ideology around how they were living their life, and really had to face something very deep in themselves and embrace something that barely exists out there in the sort of the standard fare of what doctors are prescribing and what most articles about nutrition and health are prescribing. So it's of course then it's meeting a bunch of maverick people, but essentially it's people who've gone on a journey, and often a very painful, lonely journey, and have come out the other side stronger and more in touch with themselves. So that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's what's so nice, I think, about this retreat, I found, is that you often run into people at conferences and things. You don't have much time to hang out with them. But in this one, you really got time to hang out with people. It was a very intimate kind of retreat, and you got to know them so well over a few days. And
that's right.
And the speakers too as well, which was nice, wasn't it? Because usually they're sort of ushered in and ushered out, but you're just sitting there around the pool with these people who you've been listening to on podcasts for a couple of years or something, and that was lovely too. And the resort is great, of course.
Yeah, the resort is absolutely stunning. Beautiful environment. The staff were amazing, and as you say, it was like it wasn't too much to take in. I thought it was a a really nice balance of speakers, and then having time to get to know each other and have some downtime. And then, of course, the evenings were really fun. And but being able to sit and go up and talk to these people who'd spoken with questions that perhaps you hadn't have a chance to get answered during the session itself, and just to sit down and have conversations with these people, that was fantastic. Because social media, as great as it is in some ways, it's so often it just so often ends in a polemic, and is so often very acrimonious, and it's people, and no one's really listening to one another. Everyone is just kind of like, I mean, I do it too. You kind of just you're kind of putting your point of view forward. No one's really listening there. It's not a listening space. But there was a lot of listening that went on at this retreat, both ways, and that was really nice. And just getting a chance to kind of get to know people as people who may well be on a different part of the political spectrum than you, and on many other issues perhaps you wouldn't agree with them, but kind of at least respecting their journey and how they've come to where they have. So yeah, it was. I left. I just thought it was fantastic. It was really fun. Can't wait to go back and do it again. And actually do the editing this time. Make sure it gets out without all the wonky bits. But
I know, yeah. Cool. Well, Beck, thank you so much. And
thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you there too. We're going to have a lot more fun this time as well.
Oh, can't hardly bear it. It's too much. Okay, thanks, Phil. Good luck with it all.
See you soon.
Bye.